Hi guys, Holly aka the Spiritual Fit Chick, coming to you with a quick little topic of journaling and what it can help you accomplish, what its purpose is, why you should do it. Like many of my videos, this has been sparked by a conversation with a client of mine, and we were talking about different habits and stuff, and she was at a point where she's kind of been feeling restless, and she was like, oh, I just don't know what I want to do, and I'm just like so much pent up energy and everything. And we kind of had a conversation that discussed all the ways we as women professionals, whether we're in relationships or in a career role, where we're not always able to fully express ourselves. Like we feel a little bit suppressed, or we have to be nice, or we have to be professional. She was in sales, and we were kind of comparing stories of me in a business and always having to be professional and just kind of like having that image to uphold. And we were talking about how that sort of builds up, and then you reach this point where you're just like angry. You're like, everybody makes you mad and everybody pisses you off. And so we started discussing journaling and how that's such a healthy outlet. Like it's not even that you feel all pent up and you come home and you're like, oh, I have so many emotions and I need to pour them out on the page. You don't really feel it. Like, again, this is something that sort of builds up over time. But if you get in a habit of actually journaling on a daily basis, not only does it start to really flow out, you don't have to like coax it or really try very hard, but you'll be surprised at the things that just flow out onto the page. So I think it's such a powerful tool, and I will go ahead and raise my hand that it's like one of the worst things that I stay consistent with. I'll do it for a while and I'll love it and it's amazing, and then there's like so many things to juggle, and that's kind of one of the first things to go. And I always notice it, like, and then when I'm off track with it, I think, oh, it's a chore, like I don't have the time for it. But as soon as I get back into it, I'm like, this is such an important part of my spiritual practice, my daily practice. And not only in terms of expressing yourself, sort of a daily detox of any emotions or experiences you may have had, but a great way to reflect, to look back on maybe a problem you had, or you don't even know how much progress you make sometimes until you flip back a month or two in the pages and you're like, oh yeah, I was having that issue, and then, I meditated on this and I did this and now I'm not having that issue. So it's really great for that. But then the additional thing is she was talking about not really knowing what her next career path is, and she wants to do something different, but she doesn't know what it is. And so I encouraged her to start journaling for that as well, because a lot of people are in a situation in their life where they're like waiting for like this messenger to come along and be like, you shouldn't be doing this job, you should be doing this job. And they're waiting for this like perfect little visionary experience. It doesn't really happen that way when you're in your life and you're just focusing on your daily routine and your work task. Like, you have to sort of tell the universe that you're open, and you have to sort of open the door and be, like, create that space for ideas and inspirations to come in. And journaling is a great way to do that. From not only asking questions like, what is my higher purpose, or asking yourself, what are 5 things that really make me excited in life, and writing those down and then kind of going from there. 2, just, again, writing about something that you enjoyed, and then all of a sudden a light bulb goes off and you're like, well, today I went walking and I took a bunch of pictures. And you know what? Pictures are the only thing that like really makes me happy right now. Is I love taking pictures. And then the next thing you know, a couple weeks down the road, like, you've bought a camera and you've realized that photography is your true passion, but you didn't start the process, you didn't open the door and entertain the idea that something new could come in, so you never knew. So I just think that it's such a great, great, great tool in so many ways to reflect, kind of analyze where you're at, and to invite inspiration and ideas to come to you. And the one thing I'll say with journaling, the one rule is there are no rules. Don't get hung up on that it has to be poetic, or that it has to be a diary entry, or it has to be an affirmation statement. Like, especially for the first couple weeks, sit down, and if nothing comes to your mind, write what you ate that day. Write what you wore. Today I wore purple and went to Walmart. Like, because it just starts the practice, and then once your brain kind of gets on board with, oh, okay, we do this writing thing, and actually here's what I want to say, a lot more will come. I promise you that. So don't get hung up on the technicalities, but do be consistent with it every day. Take 5 minutes. and just write a paragraph, a sentence, something. And it can fluctuate. Like for me, sometimes I write goals, things I want to manifest, intentions, things I want to focus on, gratitudes, thank yous. I write if I'm struggling, like what I felt like physically, like epiphanies that came to me, ideas. I mean, I just kind of pour it out, and it's such a great therapeutic exercise to do. So just a little short video here on encouraging you to, if you haven't been a journaler, to go find an awesome journal. I have so many of them. Like when I stop, every time I start back, I want a whole new journal. So I have like hundreds of them. But find a nice fancy journal, get a pretty pen, like set it somewhere. Don't kind of make it a sacred thing. Like don't throw it on the coffee table with all your bills and everything else. Like keep it in a spot and make it kind of sacred. The thoughts and words that are in it are very special, so you don't want to just throw it around with every other piece of junk mail or whatever. So if you're a journaler, let me know. I would love to know your experience with it. If you're new to it, tag me in your journal post if you're posting a new one or anything. I love hearing from you guys, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.